Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and today I am bringing you my ultimate guide to Halloweencore. Now you know how this series works. I have a couple of ultimate guides now up on my channel, so if you're struggling to think of how to do some themes, then hopefully I would have done a ultimate guide for it. Now what do these ultimate guides include? They include a range of things, but basically a real breakdown on how to create a theme on your Animal Crossing island. So I really hope this helps. This is a Halloweencore, so it's got a little bit of horror and spookiness in it as well, so I just hope that this really helps you when creating some Halloween areas on your island or creating a whole Halloween island. So let's get straight into it. Halloweencore, before we get started, I like to just put this little bit out there. I've contacted these people on Instagram. They've given me permission to use their photos and I credit them in this video you will see in a moment. Some of these pictures might have a filter on them. Unfortunately, I can't control that, and that's just how they've put the images up on Instagram. But if you want to go check them out, they are listed in this video, and I'm more than happy for you to go and share some love on their pages. If people have used a custom design code, I have tried to list it in the description, but 9 times out of 10 they've already got it on their Instagram. So if you want to see any of the custom design codes they've used, then I'd really recommend going out onto Instagram, giving them a follow and looking through all their stuff on there. So let's get straight into this. So what will we be going through? We'll be going through the basics of Halloweencore, colours, the Instagram accounts I've been using, a summary of the theme, etc. Halloweencore areas for your island. So what can you literally put on your island? So if you're struggling for literally the foundation of what you can actually do, that's going to be for you. And what items will work on Halloweencore, I've literally listed out loads of items that will work on Halloweencore or just on a Halloween part of your island, so that will really help. So let's get started with the basics. Halloween is an aesthetic based around the theme of Halloween. All creepy things such as spiders, skeletons, bats, etc. The colour palette is quite bright considering, but there's a lot of black involved. So we've got black as probably the key colour, followed by orange, pink, greens, browns and greys. Now I know that green might be a little bit of a curveball in there, but I found that as long as it's a sickly looking green, then it's great. You know, you don't have to, I think any sickly bright colour works very well with Halloween as long as it's near or next to black or orange or just a colour that it clashes with. I find that Halloween colours generally clash, which is quite cool. And on the right here are the Instagram accounts that I will be listing in this video. So in the top right we have Sarah's Crossing, followed by Sherry Blossom, followed by Alex Crossing Islands, followed by ACNH Amanda and Spooky Torto. And I love all of these. They have such a variety of different kind of Halloween feel to them, which is why I included all of them in this video. So yeah, go show them some love on those accounts. They definitely deserve it. Now we're going to get straight into Halloweencore areas for your island. So the 4 key areas that I've included in this video are pumpkin patches, spooky graveyards, haunted fairgrounds and spooky areas / fountain areas. Now I have chucked a couple more in there as we go along, you'll kind of find them out, but they're the key 4 areas. So let's get started with the pumpkin patches. What I love about these 3 images is that the pumpkin patch areas are so different. One is very clean, very simple and very basic but in a really natural cool way, and I love that. And you can see that they've also included a pumpkin carving area as well to kind of spice up the area, and I love that. 2 areas in one. I think that's really clever and kind of, it feels quite natural getting a pumpkin and then going straight to the pumpkin carving area, if you get what I mean. The image above that on the top right is the pumpkin area as well. This is a bit more green. There's a lot of greenery involved here, and I love that. I quite like that you can see, I think there are apple trees in the background there, and you have some hedging, some plants, as well as the barrels and just the brown sand flooring too. And on the bottom right there, the one I love as well is the fact that this is very simple yet almost a bit cluttercore. I don't know why it feels cluttercore-y, but I love it. It's got the fencing running around the edge, it's got the silo, it's got the barrels, it's got the pumpkins, it's got all of it, and I absolutely love this area too. Now what I have included is kind of just a little summary of items that you can use to create those areas, just as a little helpful guide. So pumpkin starts, barrels, hay beds, scarecrows and fencing. Now essentially you could create a pumpkin patch just with those things. Obviously you can do whatever you like on your island, this is totally your choice. They're just kind of key starter points from me, really, just if you're really struggling with the inspiration. Now, going down to the spooky graveyards, I feel like every Halloween island should have a graveyard on it. Well, that again, it's an opinion, isn't it? But I know that my island definitely will do, and I love these graveyards as well. They're very different, and that's what I love. So we'll start off with the bottom left, and this one's very dark, very gloomy. You can see the houses in the background, lots of trees, lots of gravestones. I love this, and I love the custom design flooring as well. It kind of makes it feel a bit overgrown and a bit rustic. I love that. And the one in the middle's got quite a lot of green in here, considering around the outside, so you can really feel the difference from when you're on the island versus when you're in the graveyard. It kind of, the tone is different. It's a bit grey, it's a bit brown, it's a bit spooky, and I love that. But I also love in the middle the fact there's just the one purple flower. I love that. The purple mum in the middle there just really kind of shows that this is a graveyard, and people do put flowers in graveyards, so obviously that does fit very well. And I had to include this one on the right here because I thought it was so clever that they used a... Oh no, I can't remember what they're called now. Quick, tell me in the comments what they're called. What are they called? Pitfall seed. A pitfall seed in the graveyard. What a good idea. And then it looks like someone's coming out of the ground. I am having just a fangirl moment here at this because I think this is so clever. But fundamentally, what I love about this graveyard is the different use of gravestones, the custom design flooring again, the use of statues, the use of the hedging. I love this area as well. It feels a bit more autumnal versus scary, but I just love the pitfall seed usage. I think that's so clever. And we'll just go back to the key items to use if you're really struggling with inspiration: Western style stone, leaf piles, trees, flowers and fencing. Again, you could create a graveyard with just these items, so I'd really recommend using these. Now let's go to the top right with the spooky areas / fountain areas. Now I have included fountain areas but also just spooky areas in general, which is why I wanted to call it spooky areas. So what we have in the top right here is a fountain area. I love the use of the spooky carriage, the fountains. I love the fact there's 3 fountains, the use of the pumpkins. There was another image on this Instagram from during the day, and it still looked just as creepy during the day, but it was very bright and very colourful, and I thought that just goes to show that it doesn't have to be doom and gloom. It can be spooky by using colours, and that's what I thought was really cool about this image. We'll go to the bottom left here, which has a spooky fountain area. You can see the fountain right at the beginning with some seats alongside it. You can see there's been use of some fossils at the top there. That's kind of creepy. Make sure you get fossils involved, and I love the wooden bridges. I think these are the Zen bridges, and I think they're kind of joyful and happy, but actually in the right setting they can be quite creepy too, so they really work well here. And last but not least, this is a spooky area I call, because it's not a fountain area, but it's got a bridge and it's got a waterfall, so I thought I'd include it anyway. Now I love the use of the bridge and the waterfall and the spooky carriage, and just the fact that these buildings have been created. I think this is absolutely great, and I love the use of the ice pillars as well. The fact they're purple really clashes with the orange, giving it that Halloween feel. Lots of Halloween archways going on here. Every time I look at it I notice something I didn't see before, so I love this image too. Now let's go down to the bottom right to the haunted fairgrounds. Oh, we'll just go back up again and look at the items for the spooky areas and fountain areas. You want the spooky carriages, the fountains, fencing, iron seats and bridges. Again, really plain, really simple items, but just if you're really struggling for inspiration. So we'll continue now with the haunted fairgrounds. So you can see here on the top left one that they have created a fairground tent. Now I'm seeing these really floating around a lot at the moment, and I absolutely love them, so I had to include it on this video. I think they're really clever. I love the use of the archway as well, and the kids' tents, and just the flooring and the amount of trees. This really feels abandoned. It feels scary. It feels cold. So I look at this image and I feel cold. So I love that. Now going to the one below that by Alex Crossing, you can see that this is a bit more of a busy fairground, but it's still just as creepy. I love the use of the balloon, of the teacup ride, of the stalls. You can see lots of balloons actually now I'm looking again, but I absolutely love this. It's quite a lot smaller than the fairgrounds I've seen, but that doesn't take anything away from it. I actually think it's kind of creepy being small and kind of abandoned on its own, and there's quite a lot going on there, so I absolutely love that. And then I had to include this image by ACNH Amanda here. It isn't a fairground, but it's a building, and I just thought this was so clever. Look at the detail that has gone into creating these buildings. They've literally got roofs, they've got windows, they've got the pumpkins on the outside, the fact the iron fencing kind of cuts it all off. I think this is really cool, and I really just wanted to include it on this page. I didn't know where else I could include it, but I really felt it deserved the credit, so I wanted to chuck this one in here. Now, if you're wanting to create a haunted fairground, use kids tents, fairground items, balloons and stools, and then the world's your oyster, and you can do whatever you want to put on the fairground. I feel like the fairgrounds are fairly flexible, and you can put whatever you like on there. You can put sand pits, seats, balloons, anything. It would look really, really great. So those are the Halloween areas I'm recommending for your Halloween island. Let's move on to items which will work on Halloweencore. Now, I have just chucked a load of items on your screen, but I think this should really help you to kind of get that base and know what kind of things to put on your island. So we've got, for example, spooky fence, spooky tower, spooky flooring, metal buckets, log benches, tiki torches, velvet stools, skeletons, smokers, garbage bins, a nice typo there on stools right in the middle. But yeah, I really hope that this kind of helps you to know what items to put on your island. And remember, it's not limited to this. You can do whatever you want. Your interpretation of Halloween is your interpretation of Halloween. And yeah, so this is just, if you're struggling, need inspiration, you can use these here. So there we are. I really hope this ultimate guide to Halloweencore helped you and gave you just a little bit of inspiration for when you're creating some Halloween areas on your island, or just a Halloween island in general. And I'd just like to say thank you so much to all my little legends for supporting me. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I'm really grateful that you are supporting me on this channel. And yeah, I will see you all very soon, guys. Please do like and subscribe. Let me know what theme you want me to do next in the comments, as always, and have a nice day. Bye.